Hi everyone, this is Tammy, owner of Worthyworthitpriceless, and today's podcast is titled You're Gonna Make It, and the subtitle is Encouragement After a Breakup. Usually around this time, it seems like a lot of people are breaking up or starting over with their life, or even starting a new life as far as marriage and everything like that. But I wanted to give you encouragement if you are experiencing a breakup or recently have broken up with someone, especially if you've been with them for years. It is not an easy process. It is one that you have to take your time with, and some people get over relationships quick, and some it takes them time. And if you're someone that it takes you time, be patient with yourself. Don't allow anyone else to rush you into feeling a certain way, or into rushing you into feeling as though that you have to initially just be with someone else immediately. I would advise, or at least give you the advice, to take your time. Get to know yourself. Get to know your likes, your dislikes, so that when you get into the next relationship, you will fully know yourself. I know when I was younger, I believe, it's like I've always been a lover of love. Like I love relationships. I said it in another thing. I wanted to find my husband at like 5. I wanted a relationship. I always wanted to be with somebody as far as that was concerned. The problem with that is that sometimes you end up with the wrong person, and you with somebody that God didn't plan for you, but you wanted for yourself for whatever reasons. And even with relationships, sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. But getting into a relationship so quickly is not the route to go, because you really do need to learn who you are and learn yourself. And it is a process. And I know that, people get to the point where, or the people around you, like, oh, you got to hurry up. You have to have kids. I want grandkids. When are you going to settle down? But you need to know that for yourself. Whenever it's time for you, then it's time for you. Because you don't, like I said, you don't want to rush into be in a relationship with somebody that you're not meant to be with. That is the worst thing ever. And then you feel as though like you've wasted time and everything like that. But during this time that you are by yourself, don't feel like basically you're by yourself or you're nothing, or those mental things that come into your mind. You're nothing, you'll never be with anybody or anything else like that. God is preserving you for the person that you're supposed to be with. Or even if you don't want to be with somebody at the time, you never know how your life will change. But you will definitely discover things about yourself. Maybe it's time for you to not be distracted, to follow that dream, to follow that vision, or actually go back to school, or just basically figure out more about yourself. And a lot of times, if you're in a relationship with someone else, you're kind of like, you're basically one with someone else. So it's only certain things you can do, and there's only certain places you can go. Like, you can't really just be as free as you would want to be, because there is somebody that you have to be somewhat accountable for, or take into consideration when you're doing certain things. And maybe that right now this is a period for you to just rediscover yourself. I know for my journey, it wasn't easy, but I knew that once that situation was over, even before it was over, I knew that I needed time to be by myself. It was a relationship that started when I was 19 years old, and it was a lot, going up and down and back and forth, and breaking up and getting back together again, and other situations happened, and it was a lot on me, and I'm pretty sure it was a lot on him as well. And I chose to stay single, and I knew I was going to be single once that situation was over, because I also have a daughter, and I didn't want to just hop in, and start being with someone else, especially with, being a single mom. You definitely have to figure out yourself, and then you can't always, or you can't have everybody, just random strangers around your kid, because so, but with that being said, I knew that from that situation I was gonna need time to heal, because it lasted for so long, and I just really need to learn myself. I went from living in the house with my mom to moving out on my own, like in a month, and then a month later I was in a relationship. So I never got a chance to really be single and really know who I was as a person. And I can tell you, over this last, it'll be almost 3 years in May, it has been an up and down roller coaster. It has been tears, it has been laughter, but now it's like I feel like I am renewed. It's like a restoration, like God is working with me from the inside out. And I'm really starting to become the person that I always wanted to be. And a lot of times, like I said, when you're in relationships, you do a lot to please your mate, or you may compromise to try to make a house a home and everything like that. And sometimes, a lot of times in relationships, you lose yourself and you don't know who you are. You lose your voice, and you lose what you really want out of life and everything. But that's why I say it's so important to, once you get out of a relationship, just to be by yourself for a minute. Be single. Be happy. Like, you know what I mean? Go out and go to the mall or stores and stuff by yourself, and just learn yourself and date yourself, because it is the most liberating thing. Like I said, God has truly changed my whole mindset. I am not the person that I was when I dated him, and I'm not the person that I was when I first got out of the relationship. And God has worked on me and helped me see the things that I need to fix, and things that that was out of my control, that was in the relationship. He helped me to see my flaws and my faults and everything. And he just created me, just showed me that, just everything, that showed me how beautiful I am, and how smart and how intelligent and everything that I thought that I lost. God just showed me it all over again. And it's just like a rebirthing, if you will. And I want you to see, I know that you won't see it as soon as you break up with the person, or as soon as the breakup happens, but give yourself some time, and you will start to grow into the person that you always wanted to be. But you have to give yourself that time. You need to be by yourself, at least for a moment. Because a lot of times what we do is we jump out of one relationship and we get right into the next. And so we're carrying baggage from one relationship right to the next. And then everything that wasn't fixed in that relationship, you're going to have those same problems with the next. But you have to let those bags down. You have to let that trash out. You have to let everything that is toxic in you out, because if not, you're going to carry that on to the next relationship. And if that next relationship, just say that is your husband or your wife, you don't want it to start on a rocky foundation, because you're not all the way healed. And then at the end of the day, like, you're going through counseling because you never got over things from the past relationship. It's a lot. But I just want to give you that encouragement that it's not over for you. It's really not over. And there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a rainbow. But you have to go through the dark times. You're going to have to go through the tears. You're going to have to go through, just the ups and downs of it. It's not going to be easy. And what I say is also, don't worry about what your ex is doing. Don't follow them, their pages or anything like that. Go on with your life. Do not concern yourself with what they're doing, because God has something even better for you. But you'll never get there if you're always looking at something else or looking what somebody else is doing, because God won't send the person that he has called you to be if your heart is with someone else. So he'll let God heal you from the inside out, and it will all work out. I know, like I said, I know it's not easy. Breakups are not the easiest thing to go through. They're painful and they hurt. But like I said, just give yourself time. The problem is a lot of times we don't give ourselves time, and then we just want to get with somebody else. We got to show the other person like, oh, I can get with somebody else better than you, this, that, and the third. Like it's a competition. But that is not what's necessary, because what you're going to do is basically hurt people. So what you're going to do is you have hurt, you're going to hurt this next person, and then it's just going to keep going. And it's just like a vicious cycle. And that's not what you're called here to do. Like, not to basically hurt people. And like I said, what if that is your husband or your wife and you can't even see it because you just jumped into something basically head first and not even ready? So with that being said, just know that you will get over this pain. It's not going to last forever. Cry out as much as you need to. Give yourself time. Don't start hating yourself. Don't start looking back and saying what you could have, should have, would have did. Because no matter what, it's not going to change the outcome. Whatever happened in the past, happened in the past. But let's move on to the future. Every day that you have an opportunity to change your future. You can't change the past, but every day that God wakes you up, you can be towards a brighter future. Whatever you do today can change your future, basically. But you'll never get there if you're stuck in the past. I should have did this. I could have did this better. Yes, you could have or would have, but it doesn't change that. The fact of whatever happened in the past. So use the lessons that you've learned and make a brighter future for yourself. Let God use you. Let him mold you into what he has for you and what he wants you to be. But you'll never get there if you're always looking behind you or you're looking at what your ex is doing or anything like that. Take it one step at a time. And if anyone around you doesn't support that or doesn't understand that, you have to let them go. Even if it's for a season, you have to get yourself together because it's about you. You ever play video games and it's like if your character dies, the game is over. So if you die on the inside and you just be in the bed, not physically die, but you know what I mean. But you're just in the bed and you're not living your life to the fullest, what is that for? God didn't make the sun just for it just to shine. He made the sun shine for you. It's another day. As long as you wake up, you're on this side of the ground, basically, you have another chance. It's not over for you. And I know, like I said, with breakups, you think like that's the end of the world. That's the only person you're ever going to love for the rest of your life. And God isn't going to send anybody else. And you have to go back to that person. And that's not what God is saying. You have to trust him. Right now may not be the time for you to be in a relationship. Right now may be the time for you to focus on yourself and see yourself differently. But you will never see that if you just, like I said, if you keep looking at the past, you will never get to this point. You'll never get to that point of seeing yourself happier, smiling more, not depressed. You know what I mean? You will never get there because all you keep thinking about is like, man, I should have stayed. I should have did this. I should have did that. You can't change the past, but you can change your future. So don't give up on yourself. I don't care what nobody else says, thinks, or whatever. Just know that God has a plan for your life. And it didn't end with that breakup because you're still here. God will give you 20 times better than what you've just been through. But you have to believe that, and you'll never get there if you give up. So don't give up on yourself. Keep fighting for your life. Keep fighting for your love. Keep fighting for your heart. Keep fighting for your kids if you have them. Because it's not over for you. No matter what it looks like, there's a brighter day coming, but you will never get there if you just stay stuck. Give yourself the time. Not saying don't cry, don't whatever. You do have to cry. You have to get things out. But don't stay there. So with that being said, just know no matter what you're going through, God has a plan for you, and you are worthy, worth it, and priceless. And until next time, bye.